5 tips on when to sell your stock. Tip number 1. It hits your price target. When first buying a stock, investors should set a target price. Usually, the investor will have a range of prices they would also consider selling their stock for. A good strategy for stocks is to determine the worth of the stock and purchase it when it is drastically discounted. For example, doubling your money means it's worth half as much again. It says the investor thinks the stock is undervalued by 50%. It's tough to pinpoint the right price target. Rather, a range is more realistic, and you can decide to sell off your position if it starts going up in order to ensure the gains. Tip number 2. Deterioration in fundamentals. It is just as important to pay attention to how the company does after meeting your price target as it is before the price target is met. A key reason to sell is if the business fundamentals decline. Ideally, when key indicators start to decline, you'll notice in time before your stock price starts to absently. More experienced analysts might go deeper with the numbers and research the numbers in filing footnotes. Other investors may not realize these numbers exist and can be missed by them. Tyco and Enron are examples of businesses that operated fraudulently before going out of business. Investors who acted quickly in the face of these dubious practices were able to save a lot of money. Tip number 3. A better opportunity comes along. Opportunity cost is a drawback that could have been avoided with a choice other than the one that was made before owning a stock. To make informed investment decisions, always compare your current stock to other potential management positions. If the alternative is more advantageous, sell your current stocks and invest in it instead. Tip number 4. After a merger, the average buyout price is 20 to 40% higher than the company's actual value. If you find yourself in possession of a stock which ends up being acquired at a significant premium, you could stand to make an offer to the company that has interest without needing financing. The best course of action may be to sell it. After bankruptcy, you may continue to own them if there is potential for the company's competitive position to improve substantially. Tip number 5. Discovering and evaluating a business with potential rust before it gets to bankruptcy can now be completed in minutes. When it comes to taxes, it's important to sell or realize the loss as soon as possible. You can do this by selling your stocks or investments that have decreased in value, and you'll find on the bright side, this will enable you to offset future capital gains and create a little more income on a yearly basis. In conclusion, developing the right mindset to make stock selling decisions can be difficult. Ultimately, it's at once an art and a science. Here are some considerations to think about before deciding if stock gains have run their course or should continue. A common sense strategy to follow is to buy stock when the price starts rising in order to lock in your profits over time. You should sell your stock if it drops too low so that you avoid any possible long-term losses. Thank you for listening. I'm glad these tips were useful.